Hi everybody, it's Tatiana, and today I'm coming to do my May wrap-up and June TBR. For the month of May, I read 4 novels and 2 graphic novels. The first novel that I read was The Untelling by Tayari Jones, and I borrowed that from the library as an audiobook, and I have a review of that, and I'll put it in the description box below. I really enjoyed it. It was the first book that I've read by Tayari Jones, and the narrator was awesome. The story was great. The characters were really well put together and fleshed out, and I really enjoyed the book. But my full spoiler-free review will be in the description box below, so you can click the link to watch that if you are interested in seeing it. Then for the 2 graphic novels that I read volumes 2 and 3 for the Buffy the Vampire series. Volume 2 is No Future for You. Volume 3, Wolves at the Gate. I did not do reviews of these simply because they are books 2 and 3 of the series, of season 8. So if you are interested in them, I just suggest picking them up. I thoroughly enjoyed Volume 3. Today, Volume 1 was great for getting back in the game. Volume 2 was good for the build-up. Volume 3, things came to a head, and it was just awesome. Absolutely loved it. Then I read The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which I also thoroughly enjoyed, and the review for this is also on my channel. I've already uploaded it, so I will put the link to that in the description box below if you have not already checked it out. I think this is the most recent review that I have uploaded. And I'm trying to stay on track with uploading my reviews as I read the novels. And so I did pretty good with this one. I'm behind on one, but that's it. So, yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I finished this during the Battle Books readathon. And, yeah, this was awesome. I purchased this last year, and it's been sitting on in my bookcase for a while. And I'm so sorry that I didn't pick it up last year because, yeah, I would have been so ready for the 3rd installation of this when it comes out. I'm hoping later this year. I don't think it has a release date yet, but yeah. If you want to see my review, check out the description box below. Then I read An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This was a debut novel, a debut new adult novel that I started during the Battle Books readathon and finished the following week. I do have a review of this. I have not uploaded it yet. It will probably be uploaded a day or so after I upload this video. So once I upload it, I will put the link to it in the description box below. But I liked it. It was well done. I will put the review of it. I don't want to talk that much about it in this video since I do have the review that I need to upload. Lastly, I read Vengeance Born by Kylie Griffin. This is the first novel in her Lightblade trilogy. I have not yet done a review of this novel. I'm going to wait. I'm going to read all 3 of the books first and do a group review or a mass review of the series without giving away any information. And I said that was lastly. I also picked up the second book in the Lightblade trilogy, which is Alliance Forged, and I am just over halfway done with this. I'm going to finish this in the beginning of the month of June and then go to the 3rd one in the trilogy, and I don't quite remember what the name of that is just yet. And I also have a book haul. The month of May, it was my birthday month. My birthday was the 15th, and so I treated myself to some books. Yay. So here we go. I purchased Never Fade, which is the sequel to The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I have not read The Darkest Minds yet, but since I already own it and I do want to read it, and what I have heard across the board pretty much is that those who have read The Darkest Minds liked Never Fade even more than they liked the first novel. I went ahead and picked it up. And I also purchased Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, which I have wanted to read since the series began, and I just didn't have a reason to purchase it on top of all of the other books that I was buying, so I figured why not, since it was my birthday month, treat myself. Then I bought The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. If you saw my review of The Name of the Wind, I did say that I was going to get the mass market paperback of this. However, when I went to purchase books for my birthday, the Barnes & Noble that I went to did not have the mass market paperback, and this was the last copy that they had of the trade paperback, so I went ahead and picked this up. And then the following week I went to another location and they had the mass market paperback. But it is what it is. I have it, and I'm actually happy that I have this bigger size, because like I said in my review, holding that mammoth mass market paperback was a little bit of a pain in the patootie. So I also picked up The Immortal Rules, and the second book in the series, The Eternity Cure. I did read The Immortal Rules, and I loved it. I will put the link to my review of that in the description box below if you're interested in checking it out. And so I wanted to go ahead and buy them at the same time, and they had one copy of The Eternity Cure and one copy of The Immortal Rules on the shelf, so I went ahead and picked them up, because I just have not, every time I go look on Amazon with the intent of purchasing them, there just aren't enough books that have struck my fancy to make me purchase them online and not have to pay for the shipping. So I just went ahead and got them from Barnes & Noble. Then I purchased The Darkest Child by Dolores Phillips, which, I kid you not, this has been on my TBR list since it came out in 2004, and I just kept not purchasing it. I don't know why. There's no reason. I've read other books that have been along, I think, the same vein as this, and I just delayed in picking it up, and now there are people on BookTube who have read it, and I'm like, this has been on my TBR list since before ever finding Goodreads, when I was keeping my TBR list in a spiral-bound notebook, and I hadn't picked it up yet. So now I was ahead of the curve, and now I'm way behind the game, but I picked it up, and I probably will be reading this before the end of the year. And finally, I'm probably going to mispronounce this author's name, but I picked up The Novice by Taran Matharu. I heard about this on the Book Riot podcast. This was one of the sponsors for about a week of the Book Riot podcast, and this is book 1 of the Summoner series. And what intrigues me about this is I am absolutely intrigued and interested in all of these kid writers. When I found out that Eragon was written when Christopher Paolini was like 13, that made me want to read the book even more. I gained even more respect for Seth MacFarlane. If you don't like him, oh well. When I found out that the Family Guy series actually started out as a comic series that he started when he was 9 or 10, and those things just really intrigued me. And Taran Matharu is a young author, and this book actually started, I think he started writing on this book or working on this novel on an app called Wattpad. I will put the link to that in the description box below if you are interested. I have downloaded it to my phone and told a couple of my god kids about it. They love it. And he started working on this when he was young, and because of the number of reads that it got on the Wattpad app, publisher picked it up, and so this is book 1 of the Summoner series. And if I understand correctly, what is in book 1 is not what was already released for free on the Wattpad app. So you can read this book and read the stories on the Wattpad app and not be reading the same thing. So I am really excited to read this. The more I heard about it, the more I looked into it. And the podcast that I actually heard them talking about this on, I had already been to one Barnes & Noble and saw it on the shelf, and I was like, that looks very interesting, maybe another time. And then after listening to them talk about it for a week, I said I need to go ahead and get that when I go back. So I picked it up. And that is the end of my video for today. I hope you all have a good weekend whenever you see this video. Peace out.